everyone. It is Sunday, December 17th, and this is Katie the Novel Stitcher. This is a channel where I talk all about the wonderful craft and hobby of cross-stitch and show off all I've been working on. And then I'll also have a little bit of bookish talk that comes at the end of my videos. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining and checking my channel out. I hope you'll stick around. And if you're a returning subscriber, of course, I am so happy to be with you again. I know it's been about a month since my last video, so I'm excited to be filming again. As many of you know, if you've been around for a while, I got married a couple weeks ago and the wedding went wonderful. It was just a perfect day. I don't want to go on and on too much about it at the beginning of the video. I think I'll dive into some of the cross stitch to show you, and then we'll talk all about the wedding later on in the video. But I added a few photos at the start of this video, so if you missed those and you want to see photos from the wedding, go back and check them out. And we'll get more professional photos probably in a few weeks, so I'll share those as well. The ones I'm showing now are just from friends and family who were at the wedding, but it was really great and things are going really well here and we're excited about the holidays. I hope everything is well with all of you. Sometimes the holidays can be really joyous and sometimes they can be really hard, so I hope wherever you're at, you're just looking for the good in the holidays and that you have a joyous holiday season. So let's dive into the cross stitch. We'll start with, I have an FFO related to the wedding. I have a start. I've got about 3 whips. I have a little bit of haul and a wish list item. Then we'll talk about the wedding, and then I'll talk about books because I actually read a couple books in the past few weeks. So let's start with my fully finished object. And this one is a freebie pattern from Helen D. She is Helen D on, I think she's Helen D on just Flosstube, and she is East Coast Crafter, I think on Instagram, and she has a website, eastcoastcrafter.com, and this pattern is called Today and Tomorrow. And so here is my fully finished object, and I stitched this to have on display at our wedding. And so Helen created this pattern to, you know, celebrate your marriage or celebrate your wedding anniversary or whatever date is important to you with the people you love. And so I thank her very much for this free pattern because it was just so cute when she released it, and I thought it would be the perfect thing to stitch, to have something cross-stitch related at our wedding. Alex, my husband, has been very supportive of my cross-stitch journey. There's a video with him very, very early on if you want to go check that out and meet Alex. But I just really wanted something that I created to have and celebrate on the day. And so it says today, tomorrow, and together. And again, this is free on Helen's website. And then it has our wedding date, 12/2/2023. And then I used our wedding colors. Helen said to definitely make this your own and use it to match whatever colors you had at your wedding. And so our colors were gold, navy, and white. And so I made the flowers blue with various shades of blue and white, and then the gold color for our date. And so I just got this board, I think just at Michael's. It had some other saying inside. I was kind of rushing to finish this, like I wanted to include it at our wedding, but I had gotten so busy with the planning and we moved in October and everything going on that I did not actually finish it till the week of the wedding. And so I was just looking through my stash of what I had for finishing and found this blue ribbon and thought that would work perfectly. This is stitched on a 40 count Belfast linen, and then I had this ribbon, so I just added the ribbon to the corners just for a little bit of detail. And so there it is, and I just love it, and I think it was so special. We put it on the table where where the card box was and where all the presents went, next to a nice floral arrangement that we had. And we have a couple photos. I got the photographer to take some photos of me and Alex holding it, so hopefully we'll be getting those. And we're also taking detail shots of the whole venue, so we'll have some professional photos of this at the wedding, but it was really important to me to have a little piece of cross stitch there. So that is Today, Tomorrow, Together from Helen D. So yeah, that was fun. And then we'll get into my new start. So I have one new start, and this is kind of a restart. I had worked on this last year and I just didn't love the fabric that I chose for it, and I just wasn't feeling it. And then a whole bunch of people, I think Lauren the New Hampshire Stitcher and Bridget the Museum Stitcher and a bunch of other stitchers had decided to work on this year because it's another freebie. And so I restarted it. So this is Berries in Bloom. I'll put the picture up there because it's a PDF. This is a freebie from Hands On Design. And I decided to go different with my fabric. Well, not different from the model stitch, but different from what I had done last year. And I went with Earl Grey Aida, a 16 count Aida by Grace Notes Fabric. And so this is the progress I have so far. And I did do my own colors, so my own conversion. So I'll get it closer. So I think I'm liking this a lot better on this fabric. This is a really soft Aida. I like the Grace Notes. And so I'm going a little bit softer, a little bit more pastel with my colors than the called for. Usually for Christmas I go with the bright, bold reds and greens, but I thought for this one I would do something a little bit softer, do something a little different. And so the middle, the Mary, is a DMC Etoile in Blanc. So that's a nice kind of shiny, and it shows up a little bit better in person. Here it looks a little bit like you can't see it too much, but it shows up well. And then just more muted DMCs. So a 3858 and a 902 and a 3722. So just those softer colors. And then the greens are more minty. So 163 and 320 and 368. And then there's some other detailing like a brownish color, which I just chose 646. Though that's not showing up too much. It's like right in here. So I might choose a slightly darker color actually there for like the branches, and it makes a wreath, which you probably saw because I put the PDF up. But this is a cute one. Maybe finished by Christmas. We're gonna visit my parents the day before Christmas and Christmas Eve. And so I might bring this with me if there's any time to stitch. I don't know if there will be because my little baby niece Zora will be there and I'll get to spend some time with her. I do have a really cute picture of us, me and Zora. I'm not gonna share it just to be considerate of my brother and my sister-in-law and sharing photos of their child online, but she was at the wedding and that was actually the first time I met her just because they live in New York and it's hard to get out there and to see them. I'll definitely visit them in the spring, but with the wedding there was just so much going on. So it'll be nice to spend Christmas with her, and you know, I only got to kind of see her at the wedding a little bit. Didn't want to hold her and mess up my dress or anything like that, so it'll be really nice to spend time with them at Christmas, and maybe I'll bring this with me, but I have a feeling I won't be stitching too much because it'll be busy. And so that's my start. And then we'll move on to whips. Everything is Christmas, 'tis the season. So for the next week or so, it'll all be Christmas stitching, but the next one, I will put a PDF up here because I have the paper pattern somewhere, but I can't find it. And my task for this afternoon is to organize some of my stitching stuff and organize what will be my office. I'm not terribly organized in that room yet in the house, and it's supposed to be rainy and pretty gross out today, so that will be today's activity. And actually Alex is gonna do the same with his office upstairs. We're just gonna have a organizing and cleaning afternoon, and maybe as I do that I will find the physical pattern for this one. But this is Poinsettias and Pines, and I just bought the PDF so I would have it so I could work on it since the pattern went missing. And this is on 36 count Steinbeck by Needle and Flax. And I'm not even sure there's that much progress since you last saw this, but I figured I'd still show it because it's really pretty and people have liked seeing it. Do not mind that it's crooked in the Q-snap. I love this fabric, but this is like so soft and a little slippery to get in the Q-snap and to get it to go on straight. And I had stitched this entire tree, and then I realized I had stitched it like over here. I don't know why, I don't know what I did, but it's supposed to be closer in. And so that's really all the progress I have made, I think, since I last showed it. Unfortunately, that entire tree was done, and as happens, miscounted or just wasn't paying attention while watching TV or talking to Alex. But I am using my own conversion. I think this called for Classic Colorworks Belle Soie, and the silks were just a little out of my price range, so I just went with regular Classic Colorworks. So you only need like 2 reds, 2 greens, a gold, 2 browns, and a white. So that makes it really easy to just do your own conversion. So I did bandana, and oh, and weeks. I have some weeks, and cayenne, which is really pretty. The gold is just gold by Weeks Dye Works, which is perfect. And I did bramble bush, bush, and brown sugar, which these will be for the deer. There's deer in this pattern, as you saw from the PDF. And then the greens were camouflage, just very muted greens, and collards by Weeks. And then just for the white, B5200, because it always just pops really nicely. So that's probably one of my go-to whites, because it just shows up on all sorts of fabrics. And so that's Poinsettias and Pines. And this was part of Lauren, the New Hampshire Stitcher's back to school SAL to work on a really, really big project. Started in September. Not made that much progress on it, all things considered that it started so many months ago, but you all know I've been busy. But I'll enjoy working on this one over the next couple of weeks. I don't know if I'll keep it out past Christmas. It's not, to me, super Christmassy. It's wintry as well, so maybe I'll work on it a little bit throughout January and then see how I feel about continuing on with it. But it's really pretty. So that's Poinsettias and Pines. And then the one I've made probably the most progress on, again, not a ton of stitching to show, just settling into married life and the holidays, and I think January, February, March, I'll really do quite a lot of stitching. And as many of you probably know, Alex is a tax accountant and tax season is very busy for him. So he'll be working some nights and some Saturdays, which of course I'll miss having him around, but it does mean I get a little more stitching time in while he's at work. So the next one is Santa's Young Buck by Teresa Kogut. I've decided I kind of always want a Teresa Kogut in rotation because I just love her patterns. So this one's really cute for Christmas. And forgive my nails, they're starting to chip. I did get them done for the wedding, French manicure, but now the gel is starting to chip off. I have to go get that taken off. But Santa's Young Buck is on a 32 count light taupe lugana, and I'm just using the Call for DMC. I think I've gotten quite a bit done since you last saw this. I got this star done, I finished out the tree and started on the snow, and I finished the entire deer. Look how sweet he is. He's so sweet. I love him, and Santa's hand. So we'll get working on Santa next, I think. Yeah, we'll get to Santa next, but I think this is so cute. It's so, I have a dangling needle and thread. It's just really nice to stitch on. I kind of feel that with Teresa Kogut or certain designers, there's some patterns that really lend themselves well to like a 36 or a 40 count with 1/2, which I haven't been saying what I've been stitching. Let's see, the Mary is a 32 count, so that's 2/2. The Poinsettias and Pines is a 36 count, so on that I do 1/2. And this is the 32 counts, this is 2/2. But I think for some of these patterns, for like this one, I just think the fullness of the 2/2 and like on a nice lugana, I just think that looks really pretty. So I'm really loving this. And like, it's just lugana and the 2/2. I think sometimes I like stitching 1/1. I think the stitches lay flatter or 1/2, they lay flatter and neater. But sometimes it's just nice to stitch 2/2 because you do the loop start and you just kind of get into the rhythm of it, and the holes are easier to see, especially if you're tired and stuff. So this is definitely an enjoyable one. I don't know, I probably won't keep stitching on it after Christmas because Santa, it's very Christmassy. But I'll just have to find another Teresa Kogut to start on. And I've only done smaller ones by her, so maybe I'll do one of her larger, more sampler style ones. That might be a new start for the new year. So we'll see what I decide to do. We'll see if she comes out with anything at the beginning of the year too. And then my last one, which I also didn't make a ton of progress on, but I wanted to show it anyway because it's so cute. I have the physical pattern, but I cannot find it. So here's a PDF. I actually made photocopies of it, so I have that to stitch from. I just don't know what I did with the pattern itself. It's somewhere. Everything is somewhere in the house. Where exactly it is, I don't know. But this is Christmas Delivery by Cottage Garden Samplings, I want to say. It's probably right. And I put in a few stitches on this one because Sarah of Sarah's Stitchy Spot is also working on this one, and I watched her Flosstube a couple weeks ago, and it inspired me to break it out again, even though I didn't do a ton. So this is on a 32 count Vintage Stormy Night lugana, and I'm using the called for DMC. And basically, since I last showed this, I think all I did was get this part of the sleigh done. And I think I struggled a little bit because of I just miscounted a lot, like 2 or 3 times with these kind of swirlies going on here. And I had to do some frogging. Like, I think I made the same mistake twice or something, and I just kept having to frog it. We all have those moments. And I think I put a little more red into his gift bag there. But so this one's fun. I think I initially wanted to get this one done this Christmas, and then I decided to get married, and so that didn't happen. But maybe next Christmas. It would mean a lot of stitching on this in the off time, not during the season, which I think, you know, it's hard because I definitely like being a stitching within the season kind of thing. It's a little hard to stitch Christmas in May. But if you don't, and you only stitch Christmas at Christmas and it's a pattern that's that involved, it probably will take me years. So I'm gonna have to work on Christmas stuff during the summer. And that is all of my whips. So let's go to haul. And so for haul, one thing I did do, and I'm gonna forget the patterns, but I'm gonna forget the pattern names because I didn't write them down. Sometimes I'm not so great at my note taking, and I'm a little out of practice with these floss tubes. I'm gonna get back into the swing of things in the new year and be more consistent and get myself more organized. But I did attend the Jingle Ball for like a hot second. It was the weekend of the wedding. And so, but I didn't want to miss out on it. And so I signed up because it was $10, and I was like, even if I don't go, I'm just kind of supporting the event and supporting stitchers and designers and all of that. And if you don't know, the Jingle Ball is like a virtual online event that they hold the first weekend of December. This was the second year. There's like Zoom stitching rooms you can join. It's like a whole website. You go in, there's different videos from different designers. I think about 10 or 12 designers participate. They have shops where you can go in and buy patterns. They do live meet and greets where they just talk to you and you can input questions and stuff like that. And so I did catch Teresa Kogut's meet and greet and watched some of the little entertainment videos, and then went in the shops and bought a few things on Sunday afternoon when Alex and I were just unwinding from the wedding and having a chill day. And so I did get the Jingle Ball Baubles book. So this is a little book of ornaments that they sold at the Jingle Ball. I think most of the designers will probably release the patterns in this next Christmas. I know a lot of the things that were released in the Jingle Ball in 2022 became available this month. But they've got some pretty cute ones. Lindy Stitches, Hello from Liz Matthews, Frosted Pumpkin, Satsuma Street, Luminous Fiber Arts, Teresa Kogut. So that was really cute. I think this is the blue flower, really cute little red panda. So I had to get that, very cute. And then I got 2 patterns from Heartstring Samplery, oof, words. One of them might be called Go Tell It on the Mountain. It at least has the words from it, so I'll put that one up there. And again, these will probably be available next year if you did not have a chance to go and get them this year. That was the Jingle Ball exclusive, is that one. And then I got the Bells on Christmas Day is probably what it's called. You can get this pattern right now. It's an older pattern, but I thought it was really pretty. So I picked up the PDF of that one. And then I got another one. It was from Hands On Design. It's a circle. I think it says joy in it. I'll again put the picture here and the name there because I didn't write those down, but I did get those few things just to be able to participate and do something a little stitchy Christmassy amid the wedding chaos. So that was haul. And then the only other haul that came, since it's been a month since I last filmed, and I'm pretty sure I didn't show this last time, is Hearts for Pam. So if you did Hearts for Pam and you haven't gotten your kit yet, just fast forward a little bit. I think by now all of them have gone out. I feel like everybody should have it, but if you're waiting on it and don't want your surprise to be spoiled, fast forward a little bit. But Hearts for Pam was from Cottage Garden Threads back in the spring. Pam works at Cottage Garden Threads, or is one of the founders, and she needed to have heart surgery, and they needed to raise some money to support her in her recovery. So they got a lot of designers to come in and create patterns specific for this Hearts for Pam kit. And then they provided floss and like little things, and it was just a whole little surprise bundle of stitchy goodness. And it was supposed to ship over the summer, and they had some delays, and Pam had to recover and all of that. But finally it came about a month or so ago, which was really exciting because it had been a wait, but I totally understand, you know, sometimes you got to wait for things like this when people are going through some hard times. And so, but it was really lovely, well put together, the box and everything. So I'll show the thread and just a handful of the patterns. There were like 24 patterns maybe, or something like that. Like, it was a lot, but I'll show off the ones I like the most. And their threads are really cool. So there's page turner, kind of like a color of old paper. And I think with these, what you do, you like cut this and it hangs down, and then you can just like pull each thread off, which is nice. It's its own little floss drop, which is such a cute idea. Marigold, beautiful variegated yellow. And I have not tried any of these threads, but I'm excited to soon. Lima, like a pretty blue. Hearth, nice variegated gray with even like a little bit of red in there. Bottle brush, which is like a very bright, vibrant, almost neon, kind of pinky red. I think this one's beautiful. Le Bouton, probably. And they're in Australia, Cottage Garden Threads. I think the variegation in that'll be so pretty for like a Valentine's Day stitch maybe. And I think all of these colors are the colors the called for in all of the patterns that they provided. Canard, like a gray green, or canard. Hugs and Kisses, very nice light and dark variegated red. Sleepy Cat, that's cute, a little orange cat. Nice variegated orange. And Conservatory, a nice variegated green. And then we got a little floss drop, very pretty. And a little Hearts for Pam needle minder, which I've been using, very cute. And then a couple of the patterns that I really liked were ink circles, hearts entwined. I think that's really pretty. Definitely gonna stitch a couple of these around Valentine's Day, but a couple of them might be a new start in the new year. Today I choose Hope. I think this one is especially important in the times we're living in now, to find hope where we can, and that's Heart and Hand. This one is more embroidery than cross stitch, so I'll see if I can figure it out, but I mean, it's so cute. My book bag by Petals and Patches. You know, you can sew it into a little bag and it's just a stack of books. One of them says What Katie Did is one of the titles of the books too. So My Stitch Life, River of Love, Raindrops, Big Book of Roses, Quilts, and What Katie Did. So yeah, might try that out, see if I can figure out embroidery. Lindy Stitches, the Queen of Thread, really cute, standing on a tomato. And then Fox and Rabbits, I really like this one, Bathtub of Blooms, just super cute. So yeah, that was fun to get. I'm glad it came, and I can't wait to start using some of those threads. I'll probably start one of those in the next, maybe this week, maybe leading up to Christmas, start something new. And then the other thing that I just bought that I literally just saw yesterday, and then I had to be like, Alex, what's my cross stitch budget? Not that like I work and I make my own money, and he's very good about it, but like he doesn't have a hobby like this, and I'm like, I don't want him to feel like I'm just like, especially with a new house, like spending all this money on cross stitch. But Forbidden Fiber Co. has a new little subscription thing going on called Novel Notions. And it seems like it is a book-themed pattern, not specific to any book, but genre book-themed pattern every month. And then they also do a book. So it's a book club, and there's going to be like a Zoom or a digital meeting to do the book club and talk about the book after we read it. And then you can pick a fabric, and I think they send you the floss as well. So I'm going to try it out, see how it goes. It doesn't seem like you have to do it every month, like do the subscription and be locked in for the whole time. You can do it, when you feel like it. Looks like the first month is dystopian literature is the theme, so we'll see how that goes. And I chose to get the paperback book and to get the 32 count, is that like a Joblin or something, or a Lugana 32 count fabric from Forbidden Fiber Co. And so I'll give you all a review when the first kit comes in, I think end of January, and they'll be doing it monthly. And we'll see. For transparency, it was $50. So you get the fabric. I'm pretty sure they said you get the floss, and then you get a paperback book. You can also choose to get the audiobook. I think the audiobook was more expensive, which was surprising to me compared to the paperback book. And they're good about it that I think the pattern only option actually ended up getting sold out, but maybe they'll add more. But basically you can kind of go as low as $15 a month and just get the pattern. You can get the pattern and the fabric, but get the book on your own, which I might do in future months. I wanted to just for the first month, especially because I'm Katie the Novel Stitcher, just do the whole thing. But I might do like buy your own book in the future because I have Audible. So I can do the ebook and get it through Audible as long as it's one that's popular and easily accessible, which I assume for a club like this it would be, because they'd want to make sure they got their hands on the book and everyone could read it. So we'll see how it goes, but that's Forbidden Fiber Co. I'll link their website in the description if you want to go and check them out. And I always fill the description with all of the patterns and all of the information and Flosstubers and whomever I talk about in my videos. If you missed anything or need any details, I'll put it in the description. So that's all of the stitching stuff. So hopefully I hit it all and wasn't too all over the place. Wedding, what can I guess we can just go through the whole weekend. I'll try not to spend too much time talking about it for those who aren't interested. I do have bookish talk, but if you don't really care about the wedding, you can fast forward through this part for the next maybe 10 minutes or less. But everything went really well. The rehearsal dinner was Friday. We got really lucky with the weather. It absolutely poured here on Friday, but that was okay. The rehearsal dinner, the church, and everything was close to where everyone was staying, and the restaurant was just up the street. So not ideal that it was raining, but it was fine. And again, it's just the rehearsal, and it absolutely poured on Sunday too. So I got very lucky that it did not rain at all on Saturday. So I stayed over in a hotel to get ready because that made it easy for my mom and my maid of honor, Stacy, my best friend, to get ready with me. So we got our hair and makeup done, and the photographer came, and we just hung out in the hotel and listened to music and got ready. And I got robes for everyone. Mine said bride. Stacy said maid of honor. My mom just wanted plain, so she just had a plain one. And so that was really just nice and relaxing to just be with them. And then at one point, Stacy's like, I have something for you. And she hands me a little bag. And Alex is an amazing, amazing guy. He's not the most romantic person. And so she hands me the bag, and I open it, and it had a letter from Alex and this necklace. So he got me a little necklace, which was so sweet. So she gave that to me the morning of our wedding, which was a really kind gesture. And then I felt really bad because I didn't get him anything. Because I didn't expect him to do that for me, and so I didn't think to get something for him. So I quickly wrote him a note on a piece of paper in the hotel. But he did say afterward that I pretty much planned the whole wedding, so that's my present to him, that I handled a lot of the stress and a lot of what was going on with the wedding, because I knew kind of how to multitask and how to do that. We're women, we know how to plan these kind of things more than a man would. So that was my present to him, was handling a lot of the wedding to-dos. And so Then we did a first look with my dad, and so I was in the hotel room just standing facing the door, and he walked in and saw my dress for the first time. I didn't want him or Alex to see it before the wedding, so not many people knew what it looked like, mostly just my mom, my aunt, and a couple other friends. So that was exciting, and he cried a little bit. There were some tears in his eyes, and that was a super sweet moment. And then me, my mom, my dad, and Stacy all piled into the limo and went over to the church, got my bouquet and got everything, and then had a really pretty ceremony. We did the full mass. While the mass was going on, the sun came out and came in, and it was just a really beautiful ceremony and really special, and just all our friends and family being there. And then I can't wait for these photos to come in, and my aunt was wonderful with helping with this, but we didn't do like a full receiving line, but after Mass was over, we went and took some family pictures, and while we were doing that, all of the guests lined up outside the church, and my aunt had gotten little sticks with ribbon on them, blue and white and lace with a little bell, and so they all stood, in a row, and as Alex and I walked out of the church, they waved them and shook them, and we did some spins, and hopefully those pictures came out really cute, but that was just like everybody cheering and a really fun little moment. Then we sent everyone off to the cocktail hour. Alex and I did pictures with his best man, Jeff, and my maid of honor, Stacy, and then just the two of us. And then this was a nice moment too. So we're trying to figure out transportation with a church and a different venue and all of that. And so to make it easier, we didn't want a limo hanging out and waiting for me and Alex to leave the church after all the photos, since we had sent everyone else but Stacy and Jeff home. So Alex was like, I'll just, drive my car. And so we had his car there, and so we all kind of piled into his car, and we had time to still make it to the cocktail hour. And so he's like, I'm gonna take the long way. And so we took the long way to the venue. We took an extra 15 minutes or so to get to the venue, and we all just got to sit in the car and laugh with, his really good friend Jeff and my best friend, and just have that moment of zen and driving through the Pennsylvania countryside and just being together without people around. So that was really special. And then got to the cocktail hour, and we just walked in and had some snacks and drinks, and then it was pretty much the typical wedding stuff after that. It was a big ballroom with colors of the ballroom was blue, gold, and white, more or less, which is why I just decided to have our colors match that, which worked out really well. We did our first dance to Till There Was You by the Beatles. So that was the one we chose. We both really liked the Beatles and just wanted something short and sweet and pretty. So we thought that one would be a good song and kind of timeless. I think that was maybe for me the theme of the wedding would be something that it doesn't matter whether it's 1972 or 2050. The kind of colors and my dress and the music that we chose will probably be, forever timeless. And so we did Till There Was You by the Beatles. We initially walked out, Stacy and Jeff, and then me and Alex walked out to You Make My Dreams Come True by Hall & Oates, because that's a fun, happy tune to just walk into the ballroom. Then we went into Till There Was You, and then my dad and I did Unforgettable by Nat King Cole for our first dance. So that was really nice. And I love my dad. He was telling me how proud he was of me and how beautiful I looked during our dance, and it was a special moment there. And then we just ate and we danced and we hung out with everyone, and we did our cake cutting, and we did How Sweet It Is to Be Loved by You by James Taylor for the cake cutting. So that was fun. The music was pretty good. DJ was pretty good. I liked the music during the dinner, and he got all of the music we asked for right. Dancing, he went a little rogue and did a little stuff that we hadn't asked for, but people were dancing and having a good time. And everything wrapped up very early. I had given us till 9, but everybody kind of meandered out and started leaving around 7:30-ish, because a lot of our friends are local and a lot of them have kids, so they just left the kids with a sitter or with a parent, and so everybody had to get home to the kids or didn't want to be driving late at night, and it was foggy. But that was fine. We wrapped up around 8, let everyone else go home early, which I'm sure the DJ and the caterers and everybody appreciated, and Alex and I just came home. So it was a really, really good day, and really nothing went wrong. I mean, there's one blip that I won't even talk about, but it wasn't a big deal, and it was one of those, like, of all the things that could go wrong, if this is what went wrong, sure, I'll take it. So yeah, it was really, really special. And I'll share more photos, you know, as they come in if you're interested in seeing those. And if you have any questions about the day, let me know. But hopefully I covered it all. And so I'm married. Yeah. And I am changing my name. So I gotta figure that out. But some people say it's a pain to do, but I mean, there's no reason to rush it. I'll just do it little by little, get the Social Security card taken care of first, take it from there. And so the last thing I have is books. If you're still hanging around, though, I'm seeing this is only at 35 minutes, so it's not crazy long. The first book I finished in the past few weeks is Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. I think I've seen mixed reviews with this one. I really, really liked this. First of all, I love Ann Patchett's writing. If you haven't read anything by her and you like contemporary fiction, I highly recommend checking her out. I think Meryl Streep narrates this one too, if you want to do the audiobook, which I did get the audiobook through Audible, and then I think I forgot and I like went out and bought the physical copy. So I can always listen to the audiobook if I want to reread this one. But the plot's pretty simple and it's a pretty straightforward kind of book, but I kind of liked that it was just, there wasn't any high drama, there wasn't too much going on. It was just like a simple story of family and love and the ways and the places that life leads us. So basically the main character's name is Laura. She lives with her husband and 3 daughters on a cherry farm. And this happens during the pandemic, but I think Patchett did a really good job of making it not about the pandemic. The pandemic is just kind of what was the catalyst for this story to happen. And so Laura used to act, and she had been in Our Town when she was a teenager, playing the character of Emily. I think it's Emily. I'm always really bad with names. And she does so well and people like her so much in that production that she ends up having a chance to do this summer camp production of Our Town, playing the same role at this place called Tom Lake, where a lot of actors and actresses kind of get their start and get discovered. And she goes to LA and ends up in a movie and different things like that. And basically it's about her relationship with a man who was also in the play at Tom Lake named Peter Duke. And Peter Duke becomes this uber famous celebrity and ends up passing away during the pandemic. And Laura's children, her daughters, know that she dated Peter Duke at one point, and they want to know the full story. Because, like, my mom dated this mega huge movie star, and she just lives with my dad, like, on a cherry farm and is, like, cherry picking every day. Like, how did this happen? What is the story? Why didn't things work out with Peter Duke? Like, all of that kind of thing. And so it's basically the whole family together at the cherry farm for the first time in a long time because of the pandemic. All the daughters come back home because of what's going on in the world, and they all just end up at home because they can't be out, you know, doing whatever they were doing with lockdowns and everything. So they just come home, and the cherry farm needs help because they have to, a lot of the workers can't come in and help because of social distancing and things like that. So the pandemic really isn't mentioned that much. Like, if that would be triggering for you, or you're like, I don't want to read a novel about the pandemic, it just happens during the pandemic. But the story itself is mostly about the past, Laura's past, and her relationship with Peter Duke and how she meets the girl's father. And it's about family and love and all that. So I just thought it was just a very well done, beautifully written, soft, slower kind of novel, but I didn't lose interest in it. I didn't get bored or anything, despite, you know, there not being any like super high drama. Of course, there's some drama between like the actors and Peter Duke, and he ends up dating someone else, and, you know, feelings are hurt and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was really good. Ann Patchett can kind of do no wrong for me so far. I've enjoyed everything I've read by her. And then the other one I finished was Finley Don Donovan is Killing It. And this one was super fun. It was just cute. It good escapism, and a little bit far-fetched. And sometimes, you know, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. So basically, Finley Donovan is she is a she's a woman, maybe she's in her 40s, or 30s, I guess. She's probably in her 30s. She's got a couple kids. She went through a really bad divorce. Her life is kind of a bit of a mess. And for a living, she writes like thrillers, like murder, mystery, thriller kind of novels. They're fine. They're nothing huge. Like, she's not huge in the industry, but she does okay. But since the divorce, she's kind of a mess. She's got writer's block. She's not really making a lot of money, and she's having trouble making ends meet. And basically, she meets with her agent in Panera, and they're talking about her book, which, of course, so they're talking about like murder and mystery and killing and all of that kind of thing. And a woman at the other table overhears this conversation, misconstrues what they're talking about, and thinks that Finley Donovan is that you can hire her to kill someone, an assassin, I suppose. And so as the woman's leaving Panera, she drops Finley a note, and Finley can't figure out like what's going on. And finally she realizes the woman wants to pay her like $50,000 to kill off her horrible husband. And it kind of goes from there, and I don't want to ruin the surprise. Suffice to say, Finley doesn't actually end up killing anyone, but she gets all embroiled in the drama and mysteries and death and things that surround, you know, just this one kind of happening. And so it's pretty funny. It's pretty lighthearted. You can't take it too seriously. So it was good. There's a lot more in this series, and I think I would read them again just for kind of a guilty pleasure kind of read. Just, you know, don't have to use too much brain power. The writing's pretty simple. The characters aren't too complex, but it's fun and creative. It's a creative kind of story. It's a cool premise. So those are my two books. And then I'm reading, is it called Dear Mrs. Bird? I left it upstairs, so I'll talk about that next video, but I'm reading just historical fiction, World War II, set in World War II, about a woman who wants to be a journalist. So I'll let you know how that one is. It's shorter, so I wanted to see if I could read that in the next week. So I think that's everything. I think I hit it all. Today is Sunday the 17th. Next weekend is Christmas. I might be able to film, you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to film a whip parade probably the week between Christmas and New Year's, because that's always a pretty quiet week. I am working, but I'm working from home. We get to work from home that entire week, and so I'll have, you know, probably a free afternoon to film that. Alex might join me. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. I told him I was filming today. He went out for a run, and he said, oh, when are we going to do our next joint episode? And I was like, well, we got to figure out like what's our premise, like what would we do? And I was thinking, well, if I have a whip parade and I have all of my whips out and all of this stuff, maybe he can be like my assistant in handing me things, and then maybe he can comment on the whips. So let me know if you think that would be worth watching, or if you don't want to watch an entire whip parade with two people, but let me know. So whether Alex joins me or not, I guess depending on his work schedule too, I will film my whip parade between Christmas and New Year's. And then after New Year's, I'll get back into my every 2-week filming rhythm, and I'll probably have a lot more to show because I'll be stitching more and I'll be more organized. We're pretty well set up in the kitchen, or in the house, not in the kitchen because we need a kitchen table. Like, we have a little teeny one that I'm sitting at right here, but we haven't been able to find like an actual nice kitchen table that we like. So that's on the list of things to do early in the new year. And then I need a desk for my office/stitch storage room. And I want to paint that room. So I'll probably be filming from the kitchen until I kind of figure out what I want for that room and get it all organized. And then if I end up figuring it out, I'll probably start filming in there. So yeah, but I think it's kind of good. Like, we have the holidays to keep us busy, and then in the new year, we can just spend the winter months kind of really settling into the house and taking care of any little home projects and painting and getting furniture and that kind of thing. So should be pretty good, and Christmas should be nice. So I hope you're all doing well. Please let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you're stitching. I feel like I've been a little bit out of the loop, so if I'm missing anything, if there's any fun stitch-alongs or any fun plans for 2024 that people are starting to talk about, let me know. I'm probably not going to do Whip Go, but I want to do maybe more of a winter of whips. Probably won't be starting much toward the beginning of the year, really figuring out how to work on my whips. Maybe putting all the names of my whips in a jar and every 2 weeks picking them out, or something akin to that, to make sure I'm really making progress on all of the beautiful projects that I have. So let me know how everything's going. If you have any fun Christmas plans or any Christmas traditions, let me know what's new with you, and I'll be back in a couple weeks for my whip parade. So thank you so much for watching, and keep stitching and keep reading. Bye.